It's December of 1997, just 2 weeks before Christmas. What are you going to wish for Santa to bring you this year? Some toys? Macho action heroes with big guns? Stylish over-designed cars? Or maybe you're looking for some quotes to unleash your inner playboy? The answer is, of course, none of those. You want to be a paragon of manliness, an invincible super soldier stuck behind enemy lines, countless alien soldiers chasing after you, with the only thing you can count on being your trusty arsenal of handguns, shotguns, machine guns, and explosion dispensers. And that's why you asked Santa to bring you Quake 2. Now this is a whole new reality. Just look at all this detail, all the polygons, all the incredibly high resolution textures. It's so real, so real. Holy crap, holy. This is peak performance. How can games ever look better than this? Whoa. Whoa, dude. Whoa. WHOA. At the time it was released, Crysis got a lot of attention. Not for its gameplay or its mechanics, but due to its top-of-the-line graphics. Back in 2007, the game got a reputation for being impossible to run smoothly on its highest settings. Even the most powerful graphics cards of the time struggled with it. And so, being able to run Crysis became a running meme amongst PC gamers as a baseline benchmark that gaming rigs must clear. It also got a reputation for being poorly optimized, but in my personal experience that wasn't totally the case. Call of Duty Modern Warfare had just been released 1 week before, and on a surface level didn't look much worse but ran a lot better. However, Modern Warfare didn't have huge open areas filled to the brim with grass and trees, lights and shadows weren't as detailed, and its physics were extremely primitive and limited. I have never had a powerful PC at my disposal. When Crysis was released, my family had a pre-built with some Intel dual-core CPU and a Radeon X 1550. It could adequately run games from around the mid-2000s, provided that I didn't abuse the settings. When the Crysis demo was released, I tried it and remember being surprised with the performance. Of course, this is entirely anecdotal evidence based only on my personal experience, and my memories are fuzzy and probably unreliable. What I am sure about is that there were starting to be a lot of games that ran poorly no matter what I did. I ran them at 640 by 480, settings all at the absolute minimum. Their ugly graphics were stretched to fill the entire screen, all the aliasing sharper than a chainsaw. I learned to mess around with the configuration files to tweak things that normally couldn't be changed, often resulting in broken lighting and empty black void. Yet they still ran terribly. How could that be? If I had to say something positive about this situation, it's that I learned to appreciate what I had. Instead of walking towards the future for games, I walked to the past. Even though my main gaming platform was the PC, a lot of the time I was emulating old console games or playing older PC games, and those played without any problems, mostly. In fact, I have many fond memories of those times. It's now 2017, 10 years have passed since then, and I still don't have a system capable of running Crysis smoothly at maximum settings. Oh well, it still looks good on high. Actually, I'd say that it still looks good in general. Sure, it's no longer impressive and cracks are starting to show. The physics are kind of wonky sometimes. These boulders look unnaturally clean at the bottom, and many objects could use some higher resolution textures. But being able to still stand on its feet 10 years later is a testament to how good it looked on release. If 2 years ago you asked me if I thought that video game graphics had improved significantly since Crysis, I probably would have said no. Between 1997 and 2007, 3D graphics changed a lot, which makes sense because 3D acceleration was still a new thing. The difference in style between games released throughout the years is very noticeable, especially that era from 2003 to 2006, where characters had really glossy faces. Looking back, those were pretty awful. Until last year, I was rarely impressed. Games looked nice, but there weren't big leaps like the previous decade. I thought that we were at the point where we would start seeing photorealistic graphics, but it was mostly the same, just more polished and with more fluff on top. Maybe graphics stagnated for a while. Maybe it was just because I didn't have the hardware to appreciate the steady improvements. Most likely it was both. I didn't even have to look very far. Crysis 3 was released in 2013, and I only realized just how good it looks very recently. There are plenty of screenshots and videos throughout the internet dedicated to showing its graphics, and they give a good impression of photorealism. Jesus Christ, you did it again! I can even go 2 more years behind with Dirt 3. Due to their rigid structure, racing games have always been capable of pushing their limited scope of graphics to the absolute highest. Despite being released in 2011, Dirt 3 manages to give a decent illusion of photorealism. Sure, it does so with some questionable color correction, and if you stop and examine everything, the illusion falls apart very quickly. But while speeding through the tracks, it almost seems like real life. You can even fix the colors by messing with the settings file. The best part is that it runs extremely well even on weaker systems like mine. Seriously, this game is black magic. Today, with titles such as Battlefield 1, you can get a very convincing representation of what real life looks like. I'm not capable of experiencing it in person right now, but it's still fascinating to me how far we've come in terms of recreating reality. Maybe one day I will finally upgrade to a stronger system, but for now, I'm in the same situation that I was 10 years ago. I can't adequately play the games being released now, but I can try the old ones I missed when they were new. The webcomic XKCD has a strip where a character explains that he buys games and hardware with a 5-year delay, experiencing the same technological advancements but at a fraction of the cost. I want to believe that this is sort of the same situation as me, only that instead of being a creative stick figure, I am basically a fox that can't reach the grapes.